We good? Everybody, I would personally like to welcome you to the very first inaugural and the first of many outside Infinity broadcasts. I am your host today, Steve Krellin, in place of your normal host, Will. And with me, we have the one and only Haunted Mansion Steve.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Outside Infinity podcast. I'm your co-host, Haunted Mansion Steve.
Nicely
Enjoy the
done.
show.
Well, thank you, everybody. As you know, today is the day that the real show begins. All this time, Will has just been building up until, the two Steves can take over and do the show the right way. He's doing something like getting married, right? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, he's getting married right now. I noticed, did you get a tan for this show?
You know what?
More than usual.
I didn't actually. I have the same normal complexion that a typical human being has right now, but I would have done all the other things to make this more simpatico with the way Will does, but I don't have a messy bed behind me. I have a regular tan, and I'm not drinking out of a blender bottle every 10 minutes of the show, so you're going to have to deal with me as the host the way that it actually should be going down. So I hope you can help me keep the story in check tonight, because this could be a complete mess. But like I said, I think we have potential here. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. The more mess, the better.
Oh, yeah. And let's be honest, Jason's not here. How off track can we get? Can't be that bad, right?
Exactly. We might end on time tonight.
Yeah, thanks, because he's always dragging it out with his stories and his complaints about stuff, so I think we're going to rein it in, and tonight it's going to be right in our wheelhouse. So, Steve, thanks for helping out tonight. You are actually, I'm kind of helping you out, because this is your whole thing. I'm doing nothing here, except I did print out the logo for the show.
You did do that. That looks great.
Thank you. This is 4 seconds of paint on my computer and Sharpie. So I don't have a nice rolling tag like Steve Will does, but what are you going to do, right?
It's beautiful.
All right, so how does this go? We start off with some important information, or at least some show-related stuff, and figures release. So today's the 1st of April, and so what do we have going on right now?
It's a big release day in the Disney Infinity world. We got 2 toy box packs came to life today. The Wreck-It Ralph toy box pack, which comes with Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph, and the Sugar Rush Sky and Terrain, which most of our fans and listeners probably already have those. But if you're a newbie, congratulations. Phineas and Ferb toy box pack came out today as well. That was previously a GameStop exclusive of 2 weeks from 2 weeks ago. Those characters are definitely mandatory purchases for everybody. I want you to go out and get them immediately after the show, of course. Go ahead and watch the rest of the show. You know what? Maybe wait till tomorrow, because I know the show airs a little late. So drag your parents out there tomorrow. Series 3 Power Disc came out today, so I'm expecting a bunch of trade-in to start occurring on all the forums and Facebook. So definitely go out there and get your Series 3 Power Disc packs. This time around, there are 17 Power Disc instead of the regular 20, and that includes the 2 that come with the Phineas and Ferb toy box pack of Danville Sky and Terrain. So definitely start your Series 3 collection. There's been no talk of a complete Series 3 Power Disc set with album, but hopefully, you know what, probably by the time we get all of them, they'll release that. And we need an album too. Hopefully they get us a 3rd album so we can match the other 2 albums we already have.
Are you as spoiled as I am after that last one, where you got it all in one giant thing and you didn't have to go and scratch packs or trade them online? You really do, right? It's ridiculous. I got completely spoiled, and the idea now of going back and finding UPC codes or doing whatever it is that people do to find them is miserable. I really do not look forward to it. It was so much easier last time. And I'm going to be honest, if they're listening to the show, if you set the whole pack up, and you even charged, how much is a regular pack? A blind pack is how much?
Could be $5, $6.
If you made it to where it worked out to where the whole pack averaged out to be $7 a pack. So they would be making an extra $2. And I understand that you're going to actually end up spending more with buying the packs. If you did, I would be way more willing to buy a pack with everything in it, just like the Target one, and pay a premium just so I don't have to go out there and do it. I would absolutely love to do it. Even if you'd had a couple of the really exclusive ones that weren't in there, I would definitely do it. I would love that option, and I think that the appeal of the secret blind pack has got its unique thing. I'm kind of done, and it bums me out that we have to go through and do this now because I really like doing it last way better.
Yeah, and they got some fun power disc in this set. We got Wally, Sky, and Terrain, which everybody's gonna want because, like the rest of them, there'll probably be a Wally toy box challenge. So any of the toy box artists out there are gonna want to have that in their canon. There's also the Midway Mania Disney Parks power disc where you can have the blaster. There's a dragon cannon from Mulan. Of course, we got to have 2 more horses and an elephant, and then the usual circular power disc. And I think everybody so far that's played with the new power disc seem to think the tram is the best one out of this batch. So definitely looking forward to getting some of these power discs when I get a chance.
Yeah, I am too. You know, anytime you mention Wally, there's a weak spot in my heart for Wally and Up. And when you bring in the idea of having something like that in there, just the idea of it being there gets me all tingly. So bring it on. I'm very excited. Not excited that I have to go start stocking packs and, you know, trading and doing all that stuff and paying eBay shipping costs for the ones that I already have. But, you know, what are you going to do? I guess that's the game that we're playing, right? That's what Infinity does. It gets into your heart and it takes over. But that's where we're at, and I guess that's the story. Do you have a second for me to complain about something that you brought up earlier?
I love your complaints.
Do you? Because I have many of them.
Go for it.
Here's my complaint. So I really got into the idea of pre-ordering these things. Pre-ordering is very easy because we hear about it on your show, because this show tells you these things far in advance. And you can order them before they're sold out. You don't have to rush to the stores. You can pre-order the characters and all this stuff, and everything is great, right? Pre-ordering, in theory, is brilliant. I have had nothing but terrible experiences with the pre-orders, and I hate it. Last time I did a pre-order was with Sorcerer Mickey. Did the pre-order, everything should have been fine. It took me a month, like 4 weeks after the release, to get the character. There is nothing more torturous than walking down the aisles of your store and seeing the character out there like the day after it's released and knowing you have to wait for yours to ship. So the idea comes to mind that I just buy them then, and then when it comes there, just return it later and start enjoying it and return the one that I get shipped. I could always do that. I understand that. But here's the example. Phineas and Ferb, and Agent P. It's funny that the two of us together on the show actually know the characters, right? Because how often does Will say Phineas and Ferb? And it's not. It's Phineas and Agent P. Will, you need to get it together, baby. Let's start working to this thing like you actually know Disney. So the idea that these packs are coming together is great. I pre-ordered it a long time ago. I have yet to get the shipping confirmation from Toys R Us that it's shipped. I guarantee you it's going to be right around when Disney Infinity 2 comes out that I get these characters. I don't want to pre-order anymore. I hate it. So what do? Do you go and rush to the stores on Sunday morning when these things come out, or do you pre-order it? What do you do?
For most of the Wave 1 and Wave 2, I did pre-order them, and then people started to get into it more, and Christmas time rolled around, and they were harder to find. So then at that point, I just started to wait for the sales and get them when they came out. But I know that especially characters like, and I don't want to throw Walmart under the bus, but Rapunzel and Sorcerer Mickey and anyone that Walmart seemed to handle with their timed exclusives seemed to take a lot longer than the rest of them. And if you pre-ordered it, you might have got it after the timed exclusive was over, which at that point you could have got it anywhere.
Anywhere, exactly. That's the annoying thing.
Kind of ruins the point there.
It destroys the point. It's kind of ridiculous, and I don't want to throw it under your bus like you just said, but Walmart's got a really bad reputation. I know that the pre-order thing is something you can do. You just mentioned the Rapunzel one. did the exact same thing. I didn't get it for 2 weeks until after it was a major release everywhere. And we just bought it at Walmart that day in person. And then when the real one came in the mail, I just returned it and got the money back. And I'm going to start just doing that. If I get it on time, then I get it on time. Or if it's difficult to find, then, hey, at least I know in 2 weeks I'll have it. I'm not trying to find shortcuts, but, man, the pre-order thing is a great idea and concept. But why can't they ship it, like, 3 days before they release? Like, is it really going to upset the world if you got it the day it came out or even maybe accidentally the day, like, before? Just ship it earlier. Plan ahead, right? I mean, what is it? It can't just be that you and I are the only smart people in this world that understand this, right? I know that Will and Jason wouldn't have thought about it, but I mean, come on. That's the thing that bugs me. But what are you going to do? So that was my complaint. I don't really have any more, but the fact
that was a great rant. I like that.
I just have to wait forever now. What are we going to? I'm just going to have to walk down the aisles of Target, seeing it there, and knowing that I already paid for it, and I'm just going to have to wait for it to get here. This is awful. It sucks.
Yeah, well, luckily, from Disney Infinity 1, we only have to wait for Crystal Perry, Crystal Agent P. Let me get the facts straight, since I'm a Phineas and Ferb fan. I can at least say the right names. Agent P and Crystal Agent P and Crystal Buzz Lightyear are officially supposed to be released on April 13th. Along with the Merlin's Summons Power Disc that everybody seems to be having hard trouble finding. So that's the official release date for that. The people are reporting that Buzz Lightyear is already on the shelves, so more power to anybody that can find that. It's good.
People are saying that it's already there?
Yeah, a couple people emailed me today saying they're finding them in their stores. So Toys R Us are putting them out, and I guess they're allowed to sell them. So,
you know, my favorite thing, and I'm not trying to be Mr. Complaint today, but that's what happens when you join the Outside Infinity show. I'm going to talk about things that matter to me. Do you know my favorite thing is when people on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is, it's mostly Facebook, complain that they found it on the shelves of Walmart like a month before the release because some stock guy just saw it and put it on the shelves, and then they knew that it wasn't supposed to be there. They get it up to the counter, and what do they say when they try to buy it? Everyone says the same thing. You can't buy it. They're like, oh, sorry, it says that we can't release this until later. And I'm like, you knew it. Don't complain about it, you guys. It's there. You're not supposed to have it for this long. You know it was way early. Everyone settled down, and people are writing complaint letters to Walmart. I'm like, really? Is it that big of a deal? But if they're seeing it this early, I kind of get excited about that because that means that they're actually there. The creature is there. It's physically made. It's right around the corner, right, man?
It's true. I got that one during the Race to Space pack, right. But I know a lot of other people were holding out for an individual release, and good for them. They're getting it. Well, the Chrome Power Disc 2, that damage increaser, should be out this weekend, April 6th. So we'll see if that happens as well.
Yeah, I got mine at the exact same time too. I actually got it the morning that we were doing the 24-hour marathon. And rushed out and got it that morning. But, you know, I guess people do sort of wait for the individual packs. Is there an appeal to waiting for the individual ones? Because I know a lot of people did that too. Like, it was a big deal that Anna and Elsa are going to be individual. I don't understand it, but, I mean, hey, what are you going to do?
Well, some people buy them and they put them on the walls like they're the Star Wars figures that are going to be worth $1 million later on down the line.
And they want to keep them in the individual packets, which is different than the double pack.
Right, yeah. More collectible that way. But, you know, if I learned anything from watching Toy Story 2, toys like to be played with and out of the package, unlike Stinky Pete. So that's why I definitely make sure I open up all my toys and play with them. My son's toys. He plays the game. I'm just the purchaser of the. I play the game too.
You play the game and you build the game. This is the thing I was going to tell you off air. Your prank pack. Your prank. Do you want to talk about that right now, or is
you mean Pirate Stevens prank pack?
Yes, Pirate Stevens. My kid loves it. It's the only one that she plays, and every time she walks around Mabel or the pig Waddles, she's always like, look, and she shows me the iPad while we're driving, and I'm like, I can't look when we're driving. But look, there's Waddles again. She loves it. You nailed it. Well, Pirate Steve nailed it. So
That's funny. When we get to that part of the show, the Toy Box review, we will definitely. I got an email from Pirate Steven that he gave me permission to read. So
really,
we
wow,
will
this is an exclusive.
exactly. Well, yeah, he sent me an email, so we're gonna read it. The other thing, while we're talking about Crystal Buzz, I guess there's a Glow Buzz that you can buy on the PC if you want a digital version of the Glow Buzz, which we don't know if it's going to be a physical character or not. Hopefully, a figure comes out of that one because it looks pretty neat. What do you think about that?
I think it'd be great, but then again, I don't really care what character comes out as long as it's a new character, and I will buy it.
Well, that you are the ideal purchaser that this game is made for. So, kudos.
It's awful to look at a shelf and knowing that there's a vacant hole where there should be something, or going into the Hall of Heroes and seeing that podium, like, oh yeah, there should be somebody else here, but I didn't buy it. You can't do it. I don't know how any of these players don't. It's ridiculous.
So here's a fun trick that I was playing around with. So there's a trick if you and another player go into an empty toy box and you arm yourselves with a one of the magic wands, and then you transport to the Hall of Heroes. Whoever the second player is can go into Spark mode. That's the toy box building mode. So if you go into Spark mode, you can go under the Hall of Heroes and see what's going on down there. And I was successfully able to grab my Glow Buzz and bring him up to the top to sit on the pedestal that he belongs on.
No way.
Yeah, totally. You should try that out.
Oh, I need to really play around on that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So if they release it, at least it'll look more complete because he's still down there. They had a PlayStation patch that came out this week. Actually, I think it was yesterday. We still haven't figured out what exactly is new in that release, but it's version 2.1, and the previous release was version 1.5. So we know quite a few beta releases were in between this one. So I can't wait till we find out what they fixed or what little secrets they have in store for us, what they might have added. But Glow Buzz is definitely still hanging out down below, along with Crystal Perry and Crystal Mickey, who hopefully this month get released when they're supposed to be released.
Is the PC version making different advancements than the other one?
I haven't played it yet.
No? Okay.
Kind of scared.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm looking here at the chat. Have you noticed that some of our regulars are in here? I Like Turtles is here. Steve's Better Than Will is here today. I don't know who that is, but that person sounds brilliant. So, hi, Turtles. Hi, Steve's Better Than Will. And then some of our regulars are in there today. There are new people in this group today listening for the first. Hey, HM Steven is on now. I don't know who that is, but that's great. Oh, okay. I do know who that is. And then I know we have new listeners. One of my friends, Sarah's watching right now, and she's new to this whole thing, and she's enjoying this a lot more than Inside Infinity. So that's spectacular.
It's good news.
It is. The sad part is going to be watching the numbers decline every week after this show is off. Do you think he's going to be able to deal with that?
Well, maybe he'll put us on the show, and we'll see what we can do about those numbers.
Do you think he's going to hire us on as consultants to really fix his show? Do you think Jason's going to be able to deal with the stress of being replaced by you and me?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what the readers, all the fan mail that comes in after this episode, because they've been wanting this Outside Infinity debut episode since you started talking about it in January. I mean, the tweets are ridiculous about this.
It is nonstop. And you mentioned something interesting just now. Where should people send information and requests and emails? I think we have an email address now, don't we?
We do.
Okay, the new email address is outsidedinfinity@yahoo.com. So take that down, send in your messages, and do whatever you want. And I think that's going to be relevant in a little while, so you might want to write that down. Outsidedinfinity@yahoo.com is the the new official email address for this wonderful show you guys are all part of today. So thanks for being here, and I'm glad that we could do this.
Okay, well let's get into some of the fun. We got the news out of the way, and we'll slide right on into some fun discussions here. So there is an epic movie, a movie of epic proportions that just does not get the credit that it deserves, and I know you're a big fan of it. I'm talking, of course, about Emperor's New Groove. So let's go right into it and do a Emperor's New Groove discussion / wish list / power disc, whatever you want to talk about with Emperor's New Groove to get into infinity. Because I'm sure once everybody hears this show, they're gonna want Emperor's New Groove into infinity. So why don't you take it from here?
I agree, and I feel like I've mentioned the Emperor's New Groove a few times on this show before. Have I? I feel like we have.
I think I've heard it. Yeah, and in fact, I know I've watched it because of this show.
Oh, so, that's right. That's
right. And the sequel too.
That's right. Kronk's New Groove.
You know the first one was great because Disney does not make sequels unless they're really good movies, right?
Absolutely. I guarantee that that's true. And any time that Patrick Warburton's doing the voice of Kronk, can you really lose? Please. Kronk's New Groove is cinematic brilliance, and it's just tailor-made for an Infinity playset. So if we're talking about what we would like to see on a playset, let's break it down layer by layer. So first, you've got the sky and the terrain, right? Okay, so I personally, as a massive fan of the show, there are two very different levels of the film. You've got one where you're in sort of the Emperor's world, and then you've got one where they're in the jungle being chased. I feel like the jungle one is going to be a little complicated and maybe a little bit one-dimensional with trees and stuff like that. I personally want the terrain to look like Cuscotopia, with the river going through it, and the big wall background with the fountains coming out, and where Yzma and the cat are fighting. Well, actually, Yzma is the cat at the end. They're hanging down there, and I want that to be my terrain and sky. I would like it to look just like Kuzco's palace. I think that's where I would like this to take place, and maybe like a side road or like a playset piece that could drop down that would look like Kronk's. Not Kronk. What's his name? Oh no, what's
John Goodman.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his character's name. Anyway, his little house on the hill with the the thing on the top. I would like that to be some sort of a thing that you could drop down, and that would be a cool little playset piece. And
you have like a water slide, because doesn't he want to build a water slide on that?
He wants to build a pool and water slide, because the sun just hits it perfectly. And I think that has massive potential. So if we're going to lay down the sky and the terrain pack, I think that's where we start. You like that, or do you like the
I love it. I mean, you can't go wrong there. So either we got a toy box pack or a playset for Emperor's New Groove. It would totally work in that situation.
Well, I think that I'm being harassed here by viewers. I think that this would be a great thing, and sorry, I'm a little bit thrown off right now. We should stick with what we know, and I like this a lot, and let's just keep it with this, and I think Disney Infinity needs to pay attention to this. I think we're onto something. Okay, so then we talk about that and the sky and the terrain pack. Then we got to start talking about characters and stuff like that. I think the only way to do this thing the right way is you have to have a playable Kronk, right? You have to have a playable Kronk. He'd have a similar sort of structure to Mr. Incredible, big shoulders, tiny waist, little legs, the whole thing. I think it would be great, his hat. I think you got to have a playable Kronk. It's required. And then the other ones I'm sort of up in the air. I like an Yzma because she is so different looking and she's so funny. But I think you've got to go with Kuzco in llama form. Llama Kuzco would be great. Running around on four legs, he would look different. We don't have any four-legged characters running around. I mean, we have cars that are, sort of like that, but we don't, right?
Well, I'm thinking Kuzco could be one of the companion figures. So maybe the pack comes with Kuzco and Kronk, because they both are the people that get their groove on in the original and the sequel. But maybe it's human Kuzco and
yeah, I gotcha.
And llama could be a power disc.
A power disc.
You could ride on him or something.
I like that. And I was just corrected by, I told you my friend Sarah's watching, Pacha. Pacha is John Goodman. That's right. So, thank you. See, I feel completely like I've let down the group. I can't believe I've
You've seen the movie, right?
Yeah, I've seen the movie a few times. What's it called? No, I agree. I like the llama Cusco, but I like that as a special thing. Human Cusco, I think, would be great. So I like that. Now, if you're talking townspeople, you've got to have an Yzma townsperson, but I really would like to see his pregnant wife and the little kids, because those are some of my favorite parts in the movie, when they're running around and they're messing with Yzma and stuff like that. So I think you got to have them in there, right?
I don't think there are any currently in Disney Infinity 1. I don't think there are any pregnant townspeople, so that's something new they're bringing into the game. So I think
You're right.
that's definitely something they should do.
See, that's another reason why Outside Infinity is good, is we're pointing out the obvious facts here that they haven't acknowledged. There is an untapped market of pregnant characters that Infinity hasn't touched yet. There's a huge market for that, and right now we've just brought up a major loophole in their design. So yes, that's a good point.
Pregnant townspeople and little babies.
Pregnant townspeople. Yes, I think it's great. We have massive potential here. So and then you drop down, what's his name? Cusco as the llama is a great power disc. I mean, I honestly I can't think of anything else really that'd be that good.
Yeah, one of our viewers, somebody that's not Travis, in the chat room said that maybe like a crow pack for Cusco, and it could change him into the llama.
I like that. That would make sense.
I love the part in that movie where it's like llama face, llama face.
Llama face.
Llama.
I love that. The other part of the movie that makes me laugh so hard is when it pauses in the middle and he takes the Sharpie on the whiteboard and he goes, "It's about me. Remember, I'm over here in the bag. Not him and not him. Me. All right, back to the story." And then when the camera zooms in on the bug on the leaf and he's like, "What are we doing? Why are we looking at the bug?" I like that. That's funny. That's why this movie.
I love it. Yeah.
Me. So, I mean, I think that this has been dissected pretty perfectly, and I don't think that we've got anything left. I think we nailed it, right? I mean, this to me is a playable pack right out the box. I think we're good.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to Google our facts. I don't know what continent Emperor's New Groove takes place on, but I know it hasn't been done yet.
Have you seen that funny thing that's been? It's not even really that funny. That picture that's been going around about where all the different Disney movies took place. Have you seen that?
Yes.
It's interesting, right? But that was on there. Obviously, the first one that I looked for, and I think that took place in Central America. Hold on. You know, it's not a good show unless I'm bringing in the song, right? This could be in the background. The Tom Jones song.
Are you dancing? I can't sing.
There are despots and dictators, political manipulators. There are bluebirds with the intellects of fleas.
Come on, this is a great song. This whole film is great.
Yeah. So that's if we do it. That's if we do a toy box pack. So if this was a play set, what would the storyline be? Would it be sometime after Kronk's New Groove or between the sequel and the first one?
It would be between. It would be between where Yzma is still relevant, and I like Cat Yzma. So if you had that going around, I like the idea of it being a continuation over. You're in Cusco world, and you have to go do all the different challenges in there, and I like that idea, in between. Because I don't think as many people were touched by Kronk's New Groove as they were with the Emperor's New Groove. Am I correct?
I agree. And you gotta have the squirrel. Kronk talks to squirrels, so we gotta have squirrels in there somewhere.
Squeak, squeaker, squeakity. I love that. It's the best.
Absolutely. Maybe I think Kronk is isn't he like a Boy Scout troop leader?
Yes,
Maybe there can be some side missions where they go into the woods and try to do stuff with squirrels.
Yeah, there could be many impossible missions that are hard or difficult and nerve-wracking, and people like me that aren't gaming professionals would take a long time to finish them. And then, of course, I would talk about it on a show like this and be completely assaulted by the other people that say, "You should be able to kill off a whole playset in 3 hours. Are you nuts? It took you longer than 3 hours to play Cars? You're crazy." So I can always deal with that, too.
Yeah, and I mean, Emperor's New Groove is one of those movies you can keep watching over and over again. So you know the playability of this playset or toy box pack will be there. That you're going to want to play it multiple times. and get your groove on as many times as you can.
Speaking of getting your groove on, say it. What's his name? Who's the king? Come on, is this not a really catchy Disney song that hasn't hit mainstream?
Is that your ringtone?
No, my ringtone is Gravity Falls and Perry.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, no, it bothers me that Hakuna Matata is so big, but not Tom Jones's Emperor's New Groove thing. But what are you gonna do?
Well, I love that. I think everybody in the chat room wants Emperor's New Groove, as well as all the Outside Infinity listeners out there. So we have a little bit more Emperor's New Groove discussion we're going to get to later on with a little surprise announcement we have. So let's go ahead and go on to one of my favorite topics, which would be the Haunted Mansion. I love the Haunted Mansion attraction. I think it is very popular with all the Disney fanatics out there. And I would like to see more of it in Infinity. Currently, right now, we have Disneyland's Haunted Mansion as a set piece in the a set piece in the toy box. I would love to see Walt Disney World's version of the Haunted Mansion, or maybe Disneyland Paris has the Phantom Manor. I think both of those would be good set pieces. Also, maybe Haunted Mansion Power Disc, because it obviously wouldn't be a play set revolving around a theme park attraction. I mean, they could do it, but more realistically, probably get some Power Disc and some figures. So even if they just sold this at the park, I would love to see Haunted Mansion Power Disc Sky and Terrain, maybe play Grim Grinning Ghost, and have some eerie feeling. I know people like around the holiday time, I want to just continuously make Halloween themed toy boxes, and anything with the Haunted Mansion music in the background would look pretty sweet with that. Haunted Mansion's got some pretty
You're definitely
cool.
right. The music itself is got a major thing. I agree.
Yeah, the music's great, and it could be something that comes with a Power Disc, or even so the Sky Power Disc, or if we had a Dooms Buggy Power Disc, I would love that so that I can roll over the goo pad and have a Doom Buggy monster truck while listening to Grim Grinning Ghost in the background. I think that would be cool. Disney Haunted Mansion has a lot of memorable characters, like the three characters behind me. The Hitchhiking Ghost. It's kind of funny how I had to look behind me. There were a ton of ghosts behind me.
Yeah, I know.
Could have been any one of these ghosts. But we're going to talk about the Hitchhiking Ghost right here. We got a guy with his carpet bag here. Just like you, I'm so excited about the show. I can't remember their names right now. But we're going to call this guy Carpetbagger.
All right.
So I'm sure he could grab something out of that bag and throw it at you. And Skeleton Boy over here has that hat, so he can definitely do something like Agent P and throw the hat all over the place. And Ball and Chain guy, I know his name. His name's Gus. He can swing that chain around and bop you in the head and then pull it back.
Why is the bearded one the most popular? Everyone knows his name is Gus. I know that Hatbox Ghost is another popular one, but everyone knows Gus.
Hatbox Ghost would be a great figure as well. I don't know. He's a shorter guy, a little older.
A little older.
He's got a beard. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the skeleton guy.
I always get on the ride. I always get the bearded guy. I always get Gus when he's in the ride, and he does, that with the beard, and you always try to put the arm around him the right way. I get him. I think like 9 out of 10 times I get him. If I don't, it's like a big deal. It's like, what in the hell just happened? Why is Gus not here?
When you come to Walt Disney World, you're gonna love our Haunted Mansion. Not just went, but we have a digital ghost.
It's different than the hologram one, like the little green like shape. Gus might take his beard off and put it on you right now. Shut up! Are you serious?
No, seriously, and he might take his head off and swap it with yours, or if you're sitting next to somebody, they might swap your heads in the dune buggy.
All right, my mind is blown a little bit. I thought that
You're
it
gonna
was the
YouTube
same.
it after this, aren't you?
Oh, I'm gonna have to right now.
No, wait till the show's over. You can do it later.
Are you sure? I don't want to
But
get distracted
yeah,
with the show.
Haunted Mansion. I mean, not just these ghosts. There's 999 happy haunts in that house. So I'd probably buy each one. So 999 times $13. I'd probably wait till they're on sale.
Just don't pre-order them, or else you wouldn't get them until you.
No, I wouldn't pre-order. You know what? If I'd pre-ordered them, I would have to check the paint on each one.
You would.
If I looked at them and they weren't all like they look back here, then I'd probably have to return them for good ones.
That's what you'd be looking at spending, man. $12,987.
You see that? And I know we got some Disney Infinity listeners that work for the company. You would think they'd want my $13,000 for my Haunted Mansion Disney Infinity collection.
And let's be completely realistic here. There would be people that would have each one of those. So, I mean, what are we missing out on here?
And just think of the overlay. So Christmas time, it could be Haunted Mansion Holiday. You can throw some Nightmare Before Christmas in there. Anything Haunted Mansion sells at the parks, the merchandise just flies off the shelves. It's hard to find sometimes. So I think it's a smart move to get some Haunted Mansion in there besides that one house they have. I mean, they got the Haunted Mansion clock. You can have Madame Leota somewhere in there. I mean, there's ghosts all over that place. So those will be good set pieces. Something we'll segment into a little later is that Disney Parks 2 Toy Box Challenge was just announced for later in April, and I would be severely disappointed if a Haunted Mansion box was not selected, because I know there are some talented toy box artists out there that are capable of creating the Haunted Mansion in Disney Infinity form. I look forward to it.
I always loved that whole thing. It is one of my favorite ones to play around with and see what was going on. So, and I happen to know that someone out there, Haunted Mansion Steve, or Pirate Steve, you're Haunted Mansion Steve. Sorry, a different guy. I get the Steves mixed up. Pirate Steve puts together a pretty great play set now, and I would imagine that you're right. You'd probably get picked up. So make a good challenge. I think you bring it on. I would love it. Got to do it.
Very, very good, very good. All right, so I think we're going to start to get ready for the toy box. Our toy box review. Do you want to stall for that for a second?
Yeah, sure. So, I don't usually do all the toy boxes like our friend, occasional Aussie assistant to the show does, and tries them all out every single week. But this week we did play, and my daughter was very excited to play the prank packs. She played each one of them. She liked them all better than the Muppets ones, and she definitely enjoyed the one that was, I'm blanking here. What is it? Oh, Gravity Falls. Well, it's one of our favorite shows, and the characters are great. She watches it all the time, so she really liked that one. The Gravity Falls playset, if you guys haven't played it, has giant characters on the side that look exactly like they do in the show, including little-known characters like Rainbow Vomiting Elf and all of this other stuff. So I am a big fan of that one, and my daughter will tell you that she is also. Is this our Jason? Are you here, Jason? Is this you?
No, still Haunted Mansion Steve, but you know what? I'm putting my toy box review thinking hat on because I've seen Jason do that on his show. So I guess that makes me an expert on toy boxes, and we can talk about them now.
Can you explain a little bit more about the other ones?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go down the list. We'll start with number 1 first, because let me just tell you, Mr. Tyforce put together quite a toy box. I know he's an Inside Infinity listener. I know he's in the chat room right now. of the Outside Infinity, so I'm sure he's an Outside Infinity podcast listener as well. So let's talk about his box. Did you get a chance to play it?
Sorry, I didn't hear you there. I was making sure that I was
Did you
on
get a chance
board.
to play the best toy box of the week for the Monstrous Pranks Challenge, which was Touch the Light?
That's what I was trying to say. Is I did not, but my daughter did, and she loved it.
It was brilliant. And I'll be like Jason. I wasn't expecting much from the Monstrous Pranks Challenge, but it was fantastic what people were able to produce for it. Touch the Light by Tyforce is probably in my top 5 out of all probably 150, 60 that have been released so far. It was phenomenal. It kept me guessing. I didn't know what was going to happen. I kept falling, getting spring roomed, and finally getting to the final destination. And then right when I felt like I could not get pranked anymore, I get rickrolled, big time. And if you don't know what rickrolling is, you should probably look it up on the internet. But that is when you hear this song, which I probably don't have queued up yet, but it's Rick Astley's song. Where are we?
I'm trying to find it too, but I'm slow. I'm behind the game a minute. I'm still looking up Cusco.
Just a little behind the game, but it's you're in Arizona time, so if I put my hat down, it's a little bit more Donald Duck.
Wait, I have. What happened?
So this is what I was doing when I was playing his toy box. And I'll sing like Jason sings, because he likes to put his hand on his ear.
He does.
Here we go. Hey, you ready? Everybody knows the words.
Just wanna tell you how I'm feeling.
Understand, never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna fall around and hurt you.
All right, I'll save you the pleasure of listening to the rest of that. But anyway, I thought that was the best ending to a toy box ever, and Mr. Tyforce, I give you full props on that. So let's move on to toy box number 2 on our countdown, which is Sully's Maze. It was another maze type prank challenge. Save the 5 trapped students, then prank Sully back, and it was created by Mr. Infinity Fan from the Disney Infinity Fans forums, and it was another winner. Like I said, Monstrous Pranks Challenge. Nobody was really expecting the quality toy boxes that we got, and that was another one that delivered, and definitely replayability factor there. It's a lot of fun.
That's a big deal. You just said it.
3.
I like that. Replayability factor, because a lot of the times you go through and then you're done. So if you want to go back and do it again, that's like a big deal.
Right.
How many of them have you done and you did it the one time and then you're good to keep going? You don't want to go back. I think that's a really big deal. So you nailed it.
I think most of the toy box artists' goals are that when it comes down to the point where you have 100 toy boxes in your toy box limit, you want to be one of the toy boxes that people don't delete. You want to be on that person's PlayStation, Xbox, and Wii U forever. So you want to have some kind of replayability factor, or you want people to fall in love with your toy box to keep it.
Yep.
So yeah, these toy boxes did a great job of that. Third place by a guy named Papa Echo. I think we've seen some of his work before. Maybe
I think we've mentioned him on the show once or twice,
yeah,
right?
Jason loves Papa Echo's work as well. Giant Stitch. Most amazing Disney Infinity character art I think we've ever seen, and I believe that Allison also said that on the Toy Box TV episode, so that must mean it's true because she is the community manager expert. So Good job, Pop Echo, on that. You have to go through a maze and find paint cans, and paint spray. Stitch was here on the wall, and I guarantee you when Johnny V and Allison and all the people that come up with these challenges were thinking about Monsters, they were probably thinking they were going to get a bunch of Monsters University, and they even said Nightmare Before Christmas in there when they were talking about it and trying to give people ideas. And nobody even did Nightmare Before Christmas, or at least that's what wasn't featured.
Wasn't picked.
So I like that people are thinking out of the box and creating this great toy boxes, because I mean Stitch, people love Stitch. We haven't seen anything like that before. So I know my kids, after we painted Stitch Was Here, it didn't take us long. After we were done, he just wanted to play it as like a battle arena, and we went to town fighting each other back and forth in that world, and it was fun just flying around Stitch, and we had a good time in that one. Quest for Archie was done by Vault of Villains. It's actually done by his wife, but she submitted it under his name. So they got a kind of a rivalry going there, where they both have one win under their belt. So I know that they're itching to see who's gonna come ahead on the Princess Challenge, to see if one is better than the other. But that was another great one, as themed on Monsters University. You have to find Archie, Archie the Scare Pig. Very well done as well. What else? Do we have any other ones?
You got one more, right?
Yeah, one. Fifth place. Oh, Gravity Falls. Something weird is happening in Gravity Falls. Well, more weird than usual. Mysterious monsters that prank the town. This is done by our good friend of the show, Pirate Steven. I thought it was okay. What did you think?
I think it was all right. You know, like I was saying earlier, my kid liked it, but I thought it was average. It was okay.
Yeah, average. Yeah. Well, Gravity Falls. I know you're a big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of the show as well. I know a lot of people have requested Disney Infinity get some Gravity Falls figures and play sets and power disc. And we even saw the creator of Gravity Falls and Johnny V twittering back and forth about the idea. So
arguably, to me, one of the biggest teases that we've seen. Hearing that go back and forth is pretty great.
Yeah, and Alex Hirsch is the guy that is the creator of Gravity Falls, and he had a pretty funny April Fool's joke. The season 1 kind of ended on a cliffhanger.
Major cliffhanger.
Major cliffhanger. And today he posted a picture of what the cliffhanger was supposed to be, and it was Phineas and Ferb jumping out of whatever Grunkle Stan was looking at. So I thought that was a pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Pretty funny April Fool's joke. Probably the best I saw today.
He's also isn't he the voice of Zeus too on that show?
Probably. I mean, Zeus doesn't really say.
Oh
much.
No, he
does Grunkle Stan.
He's Grunkle Stan. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, he's a really funny guy and very successful for his young age. So it's exciting to see that.
Yeah, it's depressing too. I don't like it when people that young are so much more creative and smart than me. But you know what? Every year they gets a little more common, so I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and just enjoy it.
Hey, we can always hope that our kids are the next ones.
I don't know. Have you hung out with my kid very much? I'm sort of.
Funny.
I'm just kidding. She's brilliant. I hope that she sticks with it. That'd be
good
great.
Singer.
Yes, she's a good singer.
All right, back to the Gravity Falls toy box.
Thank you. Sorry.
I gotta read his email. I just showed it. I don't even have words on it. So, yeah, Pirate Steven made Gravity Falls. Pretty much a bunch of block art from Gravity Falls and you had to find a way to make it make a pranks challenge out of it. Well, Gravity Falls is full of monsters, so monsters worked, and he just threw a bunch of pranks in there. to give it enough theme to be considered. But I'm pretty sure they weren't expecting a Gravity Falls toy box with this challenge. So yeah, luckily Pirate Steven was able to deliver on that, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I've seen a lot of the reviews online of it, and people seem to like it. It's a good thing to just play in. I like the battle type one, so like the replayability. It's the only Gravity Falls one out there, so people are going to want to go back and play it.
Let me ask you. Say you were a creator of one of these play sets, right? And say you actually had one that was selected, like this other guy, Pirate Steve. Say you're this guy. If you had it selected, do you spend a significant amount of time reading what people say about it because it's your baby and you created it? Or do you borderline obsess about reading the reviews of what people say?
I would think if I did have something selected by chance, I would probably be pretty obsessed about the YouTube comments and do regular. If Gravity Falls, I would probably be on YouTube and Google searching Gravity Falls Disney Infinity to see what everybody said about it all day long. But
that's not you. This is just a hypothetical.
I don't have that pleasure of doing that. But maybe one day we'll see what we can do.
Just work, man. You can't give up.
I think I thought was funny though. So one of the biggest gags in that Gravity Falls toy box was my friend Pirate Stevens was able to recreate one of the funniest scenes I think of the whole show was the gnome who started shooting rainbow.
The gnome, yeah, absolutely.
Everybody that reviewed it did not get to the point to see that. So
are you serious?
Yes.
No.
I didn't see the reviews, but I'm sure. Maybe I did see the reviews. They always skip. They couldn't find the little button, so maybe Pirate Steven should have put it in a little bit more obvious place. But and I even noticed there was a clear button, so that after you make the gnome puke, you can always clear it, make him puke again. And there's an Easter egg because Easter's coming up. You can, if you are so inclined to climb the gnome's rainbow puke, you can climb onto his nose and jump on it, and it will honk his nose. That gives you a little bit more prank action going on in that box. There's also a lot of things from the show, like Bill Cipher. They had the Gravity Shack where the S fell off, the Bottomless Pit, and the Sea Monster. So hopefully that box was what Gravity Falls fans can whet their appetite until Disney Infinity 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever number they get up to, starts putting Gravity Falls in there.
I think that it's got to happen. I think that they have some of the most unique looking textures and characters that you can get. So I think that there's massive potential here. I love it. And I think that it has some of the best voiceovers out of any of the shows that we have today. What's her name is Mabel is just unbelievably cute and fun on this game, and I think that she would be great. So I think that this toy box definitely quenched the appetite for the Gravity Falls fans. And I know for a fact that Season 2 is coming up strong soon, right? I think it's...
Yeah, this summer. They've been...
right.
Church has been talking about it, so I know... hopefully this toy box does not get retired, because I noticed Disney Infinity has started to retire some of the older boxes to make room for the other ones. Hopefully this one stays around long enough for Season 2 so people can get into it again.
That's right.
So let's move on. Let's move on to a little bit more toy box challenge discussions. Let's talk about the Princess Challenge. That one is actually due. Submissions are due for that one by noon Pacific time tomorrow.
Which is the second.
Yeah, so we have some Princess Challenge boxes for people to look forward to there. It'll be interesting to see what people come up with. Hopefully it's not all Frozen and Rapunzel and everything we've already gotten.
Right.
Love to see some people thinking outside the box and get us some new Disney princesses out there. I think that's kind of what they might be looking for.
I'm wondering where this is going to go, because this is This is, you think you hear Disney Princess, and it's going to be restricted to the characters that we already have and some of the playsets, like you said. But I don't think that the people that get selected are that closed-minded. I don't think we've seen any that are really just so stereotypical, straight out of the box that it doesn't surprise anybody. I think that there will be some open interpretation. I would like to really see some, you've got Princess and the Frog has a really pretty background.
Oh, Tiana. Yeah.
Some Tiana stuff would be really great to see. I'm a big fan of that movie, and I would like to see some of that. Of course, I would like to see Snow White stuff in the woods with the house, and there are a fair amount of similar animals that are already characters. The Toy Box people, you've got the deer and the trees, and I think that you could do some good ones with that. But I'm going to be interested to see where this one goes, just because I'm a big fan of the Disney Princess in the first place. I love the art behind it, and I think that what people can do would be really interesting. So I have very high hopes and open-mindedness to see what people actually come up with here. And the good thing is the people that are regulars on this have not yet let me down, and I think they've got some good potential to go here.
Yeah, absolutely. I know when they announced the March, or what month are we in? When they announced these challenges, that I know a lot of people looked at the Princess Challenge and said that's the one that's going to be the most popular. So I'm sure that the entries are going to be 5,000 plus for this one as well. So
5,000 plus? That's a
yeah. That's what they've been reporting at 5,000 plus entries. I couldn't believe when I saw some of these toy boxes that kept getting picked. I thought, you know what, they're selecting from 50 or something. But everybody at Disney Infinity is saying that they're getting 5,000 plus toy boxes. So it's pretty remarkable. I would love to see the process inside and out of how it happens. So maybe we can get somebody in the know to run that down for us.
Yeah, I wonder what the average number is. The average 5,000, or is 5,000 sort of the high?
I'm sure 5,000 is sort of the high. I know from the ones that I'm talking about that they've released those type of numbers. The original Disney Parks Challenge, Johnny V said 5,000 plus on that one, and the Underwater Challenge was right around the 5,000 one.
Man.
So yeah, so that's good. Tron boxes come out tomorrow, so we'll see some new boxes on that. And then today they announced the April challenges, which is the first one is an egg hunt. The second one is, let me think about it for a second. This is why you write things down.
It is, right? But you know what? This is what makes our show different. This is more organic and conversational style.
It is conversational. Why don't you stall for a second while I look these up?
Absolutely. So I want to go ahead and just plug some of the people that we know on a regular basis, because I don't want to forget them later. Everybody go look up Pixar Post on Twitter, and they have a really great podcast. TJ and Julie are big supporters. They talk about us all the time here on, well, actually, they talk about Inside Infinity, but I'm hoping that the show will sway them to start talking about the Outside Infinity show. But they do a great Pixar-related show, and I wanted to congratulate them. They are now new parents, and I hope they're getting some good sleep. Just because I know how that is, and there you go. So everybody go check them out. And do you figure it out yet? That was a good delay, right? Like a
you did good.
Break.
All right, so we get the
you.
Egg Hunt Challenge, which those entries that goes from 4.3 to 4.9. The next one would be the Alice in Wonderland Challenge. So that would be using the Power Disc that come with Alice in Wonderland Terrain and Sky from Series 1 Power Disc. The Disney Parks Challenge Part 2. So Part 1 was so popular that they decided to make a Part 2, which I'm thrilled about. I want to see what that Haunted Mansion toy box is going to look like, as well as a lot of other attractions, because I know that the top 5 for that challenge was pretty cool, and I can't wait to see what didn't make it or what people were able to come up with between now and then, because I've seen some pretty cool ones that didn't make it. After that, rounding out April is the Air Race Challenge. So that should be pretty interesting as well. One of those ones you don't know where people's minds are going to be and what they're going to go with, since there really isn't that many flying flying vehicles, and what they're gonna do. Should be cool. Should be cool.
Is there
So-
I'm seeing people on the chat. Is there when is the Alice in Wonderland one? Is that what's going on?
So next week is the Egg Hunt Challenge, and the
Right.
week after that is Alice in Wonderland.
Okay. See, that one I'm also really excited to see about. I think that'll be interesting. So.
Yeah, you know what, and if you think about it, what they're doing here is it looks like when there's a terrain and sky, they come up with a challenge like that. So that leads me to believe that somewhere down the line will be a Phineas and Ferb challenge, as well as a Wally challenge, since there's power discs for Wally for the sky and terrain.
I like that. Bring on the Wally challenge.
So that should be pretty cool. We have one last thing to talk about for toy boxes. So me and Steve C are happy to announce a challenge from us, from the Outside Infinity show. We want to challenge our listeners to create a toy box, and it's going to be a little different from the Disney Infinity official challenges. So because we have the power to do so on this show.
We do have the power to do so.
We have the power to pick the challenge. So, being that this is the first challenge for the listeners of the Outside Infinity show, we're going to go with the Emperor's New Groove Toy Box Challenge.
I think that's an excellent idea, and great job.
It is a phenomenal idea. So, here's what you have to do. You can create any toy box you want that is themed to Emperor's New Groove. And what you would do is you would take pictures of your toy box creation, videos if you have it, and you will send it to the email address that Steve will give you in a minute. And what we're going to do is, as a committee, we'll look at the toy boxes. And the cool part is that all of the toy boxes will be featured on one of our shows. So it's not like you're going to submit something and nothing's going to happen with it. We will show what we have from you on those toy boxes. And the winner of that challenge, the one that we think is the coolest Emperor's New Groove toy box, is actually going to get an invitation to be on a future Outside Infinity show. So you're going to get something, a little bit something out of winning this challenge. You actually get to be on the show with these two Steves here,
And
have a good time.
And because we're such great hosts, I'm going to go ahead and say the winner gets a Emperor's New Groove special gift from me, and it's not something I'm making. I will send you something courtesy of Steve, the real Outside Infinity chairperson, to thank the winner of the pack. So I will send you Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove on Blu-ray. So there you go, brand new. So winner of that gets an actual prize from me too. So good job. I hope you guys can do it. Bring on the submissions. We need the Kronkness. Let's do it.
Yeah. So just to give you ideas of what your toy box could look like. Here is a Kronk toy box that I made, featuring our favorite Emperor's New Groove character. Well, they're all our favorites. What am I saying? But here is Kronk in block form. You can also go to the top of his little doohickey right here, this little thing, and do a skydive off him. That's pretty much what this toy box. It took that many blocks to fill the meter, so that's all I had room for. But this is the kind of stuff you can enter in your in the Emperor's New Groove challenge, and you know what? You might get picked. We might think you're pretty cool, and like I said, we're going to feature all the boxes on our show, so do a pretty good job, because your name's going to be on that. And like I said, if you win, you get to hang out with us. Which, is there any better prize than that? And Steve's
I don't
say,
think there is.
So.
No, you get the Blu-ray pack as well, and I hope you guys can do it. But that is so great. I love looking at that thing. It is so freaking perfect. I can't even tell you how good that is. So that is awesome. I love it.
All right, so we're getting near the end of the Outside Infinity Power Hour. hour and 15 minutes. I don't know how long we've been going back and forth here.
The email address, again, I'm getting people saying it, is outsidedinfinity@yahoo.com. Outsidedinfinity@yahoo.com. So there you go.
That's brilliant. So Kronk does look Kronk. Okay. So like I said, we're getting near the end of our show. So how better to end the first ever episode of the Outside Infinity show than a little food eating challenge, right? Because that's what we do here in the Inside Outside whatever show.
That's right. We do really uncomfortable eating challenges.
We got taste here at the show. So this will be the first ever honey mustard challenge. It's good too.
Well, you know,
I got a little tub of honey mustard here.
I was rushed a little bit to get here today, and I could not get the honey mustard. But I will tell you what I did is I have the barbecue sauce challenge. I think that nothing goes better than barbecue sauce and honey mustard together anyway, right? So I don't think people should be upset.
I put honey mustard on my honey mustard when I go out to a restaurant. And I don't order anything unless it has honey mustard. French fries, hamburger, chicken,
That's right.
chicken fingers, honey mustard, good. So we're not doing Vegemite on this show.
No, none of that nonsense.
No, we're doing honey mustard challenges.
That's right. Bring it on.
Honey mustard challenge.
We're doing shooters.
Shooters.
That's right.
So
this is going to be gross. I've actually never done this before.
Cheers, Steve C, to a great debut show. I think we rocked it. Hope the fans out there liked it as well. So cheers.
Here we go. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
That's a lot different when it's not covered in chicken or something.
So I got a little honey, like a honey mustard.
You do.
A mustache or something. But you know what? I just lick it off because it's good.
Oh, I want a screenshot of that. That is fantastic.
I'm sure there will be.
I'm like tearing up, actually. That hit me a lot harder than I thought it would.
Come on, dude. It's barbecue sauce.
That is true.
So we invite you to take your own honey mustard challenge. Send us pictures of you chugging honey mustard. We love that stuff. I got a second round to go on later. But thanks again for catching us on this show. It's a little different, a little April Fool's joke. That's not really a joke. The show's for real, and we will be back. I can't give you the broadcast channel, but I know our good friends at the Inside Infinity show will let you know the next time you can catch us. Inside Infinity will be back at its regular time next week. You'll be able to see the Star Wars show, which I know a lot of fans have been looking forward to. I think that sounds like a blast. I can't wait to hear what those crazy kids think about Star Wars and Infinity.
I'm excited that this show is actually happening because how many times have we brought up something and Star Wars comes up and we try to keep it from being turned into the Star Wars show. So now I actually feel like we'll be able to talk about the show and not have to rein ourselves in or worry that Will is going to be sitting there in the background going, okay, anyway, so about the toy boxes, this time it'll actually be able to stay on topic. So I welcome this show. I'm very excited.
I can't wait. I might not sleep until it happens. It's so good. And you know what? I can't wait for all the fan mail to come in from this show. So bring it. You want to give that email address one more time?
It would be insidedinfinity@yahoo.com. And while we were on here, I made sure I set it up on my phone. So anybody that emails in, I'll get your emails. insidedinfinity@yahoo.com. Here we go.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for everybody who tuned in tonight. Caught us on our non-regular day, first ever show. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you next time. Hopefully, you'll tune in the Inside Infinity show next week, and let everybody there know that you like the Outside Infinity show. So thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody. This was fun. I hope you didn't hate it.
All right. Catch y'all next time.
Thank you.